welcome back to my channel. My name is Casey and today we're going to play another round of library card. That is my TBR game. Really quick, let's recap that the last time I played, I did not read anything. I got sick, I didn't read anything, so we're starting over. We are starting over though with a little bit of a concept of no timeline for this challenge. So I'm participating in a lot of like readathons, book club things, the Tale of Two Trails, the battle, and those are giving me already like time constraint goals. So I also wanted to play my TBR game, but without the restrictions of time constraints on the books. I'll lose if I decide I'm not going to read these books anymore. It works for me. It's very casual. I've been in a very much a read mood for the last few months, and I'm going to continue that, but also I see a lot of videos of people like playing their TBR games, and it makes me want to play my TBR games. So what had happened is that something I really need some help with though. In my TBR game library card, there are book club perks, which are rewards for completing my TBR, and late fines, which are penalties for not completing my TBR, but I need more of them. I recently added a lot more prompts to my game, but I feel like I need more rewards and penalties, more creative ones, so I could use their help with that. So let's go over the ones that I already have in this game. So for my book club perks, I have discard one prompt for a free pick. Treat your shelf, obviously spoiling myself with a book. Return one book if I get a hefty TBR. Sorry, it's kind of glary, but there you go. Exchange one TBR book for another of your choice. I hope you can read that. Double the number on your dice for one turn. Discard one late fine. Bad roll, re-roll. And double up, can you see? Double up, use the same book for 2 prompts. So those are my book club perks. I have one more, but it's in play, and that is to reduce your page count by 100 pages. And then for my late fines, I have take the number of your current space, divide by 2, and go back. Replace one book with a book that is 100 pages longer. Nobody wants that. Use a random generator to add a book to your TBR. Replace your favorite TBR book with a new prompt. Reverse, go backwards for the next roll. Draw 2 prompt cards. Add the next book in a series to your TBR. Return one book club perk. I think I have one more, but it's also in play. What was that? There's one more which I think is in play for the game ahead, and that was to add another book to my TBR. So if you have some ideas for perks and late fines, let me know. I could really use some more prompts for those. Let's get into the game. All right, let's set up our new game. We are going to start from the beginning because I have done a couple of test rounds and have had to go to the end every time. So we're just going to assume that I need to start over. Now, I do have from my last game a book club perk remaining, and that is reduce a page count by 100 pages. So if I draw a prompt that says to pick a book between 500 and 600 pages, I could use this perk if I wanted to and go down to a page range of 400 to 500 if I get a prompt like that. I did not complete my last TBR. The last time I played my game was in February. I got very sick, didn't read anything off the list that month. Ended up reading only one of those books the following month. So epic fail, must pull a late fine. And add one book to the TBR right off the bat. All right. Normally I would draw 5 prompts, but I'm going to have to draw 6 prompts with this. If you have late fines, you have to pay them and or, so to speak, use these cards before the end of the game. I can use my book club perk whenever I want. So right off the bat, I'm adding book. I'm going from 5 prompts to 6 prompts to start. So let's just go ahead and start that. An author's debut novel. A title that starts with K. A title that starts with C. Hey, KC, look at that. It's me. Has a TV or movie adaptation. I've gotten that one before. Has a blue cover. And has people on the cover. People, not person, people, more than one. So we have all prompts. Move these in frame a little closer so you can see them. And I can go ahead and flip that over as I've already applied said punishment. Now, as I'm playing, if I'm not able to match up the genre I land on with one of these prompts, I will then have to draw another prompt. So, let's see how it goes. Roll number 1, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fiction. So for fiction, I'm going to try to use one of the harder prompts on here, and that is an author's debut novel. For roll number 1, we landed on fiction, and the prompt I've selected is a, can you see it? It's a little glary. An author's debut novel. I selected Eventide by Sarah Goodman. This takes place in Wheeler, Arkansas in 1907. When their father descends into madness after the death of their mother, Verity Pruitt and her little sister Lila find themselves on an orphan train to rural Arkansas. In Wheeler, 11-year-old Lila is quickly adopted, but 17-year-old Verity is not. Desperate to stay close to her sister, Verity indentures herself as a farmhand. Even charming farm boy Abel Ashley can't completely distract her from the sense that something is not quite right in this strange little town. Strange local superstitions abound, especially about the eerie old well at the center of the forest. The woods play tricks, unleashing heavy fog and bone-chilling cold, and sometimes visions of things that aren't there. But for Verity, perhaps most unsettling of all is the revelation that her own parents have a scandalous history in this very town. And as she tries to unearth the past, sinister secrets come with it. Secrets that someone will go to violent lengths to protect. So it's a little bit paranormal mystery, a little bit coming of age, a little bit YA. It just sounds kind of spooky. And this cover kind of reminds me a lot of spring. It has Secret Garden, The Ring vibes. And I'm feeling spooky books lately. I know it's spring and it's fresh and it's bright and things are blooming, but like I've been reading so many like even keel chill books that I just need a spooky book. And this is gonna give me that, I think. Roll number 2. 7. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Adventure. For adventure, I know exactly what to pick. I am picking The Princess Bride by William Goldman for both adventure and has a TV or movie adaptation. We have all seen this movie. We all love this movie. It's the best movie ever. I cannot wait to read this book. For the next prompts, we landed on our genre being adventure, and for that, I'm going to match it up with has a TV or movie adaptation. This is not the first time I pulled this card. And we are going to do The Princess Bride by William Goldman. Does this book need introduction? Probably not. I think we've all seen the movie. We all love the movie. This is one of the best movies ever. This is probably going to be one of my favorite books of the season. So the synopsis reads, as Florin and Gilder teeter on the verge of war, the reluctant Princess Buttercup is devastated by the loss of her true love. Kidnapped by a mercenary and his henchmen, rescued by a pirate, forced to marry Prince Humperdinck, and rescued once again by the very crew who absconded with her in the first place. In the course of this dazzling adventure, she will meet Vicini, the criminal philosopher who will do anything for a bag of gold, Fezzik, the gentle giant, Inigo, the Spaniard whose steel thirsts for revenge, and Count Rugen, the evil mastermind behind it all. Foiling all their plans and jumping into their stories is Westley, Princess Buttercup's one true love and a very good friend of a very dangerous pirate. 5-star prediction right here. It's going to be a 5-star book. If it's not a 5-star book, my life has no meaning. Moving right along. Let me move these in. Nine. At least it wasn't a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Suspense. Okay. I had to consult my bigger bookshelf because I don't really have too much in the way of horror and suspense on my spring TBR. But I did find a book, and that is Curious Toys by Elizabeth Hand. And that is going to be my prompt for a title that starts with C. Our next prompt, we landed on suspense for the genre, and I'm going to pair that up with a title that starts with C. And for that, I'm going to go with Curious Toys by Elizabeth Hand. And it reads as, Pin, the 14-year-old daughter of a carnival fortune teller, decides during the sweltering Chicago summer of 1915 to disguise herself as a boy and join a teenage gang that roams the famous Riverview amusement park. Unbeknownst to the well-heeled city dwellers and visitors who come to enjoy the attractions, the park is also host to a ruthless killer who uses the shadows of the dark carnival attraction to conduct his crimes. When Pin sees a man enter the Hell Gate ride with a young girl and emerge alone, she knows that something horrific has occurred. The crime will lead her to the iconic outsider artist Henry Darger, a brilliant but seemingly mad man. Together, the two navigate the seedy underbelly of a changing city to uncover a murderer few even know to look for. So it's the night circus, but make it murder. Rule number 4. 7. What is with the 7s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next in a series. Well, at least this one I can do. The next one that I'm going to do is next in a series, and that is Lasher by Anne Rice. This is the second book in the Mayfair Chronicles, or the Lives of the Mayfair Witches series. I could do either People or Blue cover. Let's do People. For our next prompt, we landed on next in the series for the genre, and I am going to go with, the prompt has People on the cover, and we're going to go with Lasher by Anne Rice. This is the second book in the Mayfair Witches series, which is a spin-off of the Vampire Chronicles. And synopsis reads as, at the center of Anne Rice's brilliant new novel, the beautiful Rowan Mayfair, Queen of the Coven, must flee from the darkly brutal yet irresistible demon known as Lasher. With a dreamlike power, this wickedly seductive entity draws us through twilight paths, telling a chillingly hypnotic tale of spiritual aspirations and passion. And I'm actually using this book as a prompt for my Tale of Two Trails prompt, which was to match a book to my outfit. At the time, I was wearing a black shirt and purple sweatpants, and I know it looks blue, but you can see a lot of purple in there as well. So we're going with this one for that prompt as well. So I'm doubling down. Shoot me. Roll number 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A classic. So we are going to do The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is a 24 and 2024 book for me. It is on my spring TBR, and it has, look at this, a pretty blue cover. For our next roll, we have landed on a classic, and I'm going to go with has a blue cover as my prompt. And for that, we're going to read The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. It's always a mouthful for me to say her name. But Frances Hodgson Burnett. This is one of my favorite movies. I love it. I read the first page just to see how I was going to like this book, and I really think I am. And this is also a 24 in 2024 book for me, and on my spring TBR. So I'm just checking all the boxes with this one. So, you know, these editions don't actually have a synopsis on them, but the story goes that the young girl Mary is orphaned. She is sent to live with her reclusive uncle, and just kind of, she's a brat. She's a stubborn little brat. She's spoiled. Her parents didn't want her. She was allowed to do whatever she wanted, however she wanted, so she treats the people around her like garbage. She ends up meeting her cousin, who is sickly, or made to believe he's sickly, but through their friendship, along with another boy who works on the manor, they make him healthy again. They find her mother's secret garden, hence the title. They find her mother's secret garden, which becomes a place for revival and renewal and healing. And that's essentially what I know about this book. I've been wanting to read this one for so long. I'm so excited. Rule number 6, and we are down to a title that starts with K. So hopefully we can make this work. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another classic. After carefully considering my physical books, I do not have a classic that starts with K. I have 2 books that start with K, and those are Catherine and The Kite Runner. And though The Kite Runner is something of a modern classic, I don't really feel it fits exactly what's being asked of me. So I have to pull yet another prompt card. Has an instrument on the cover. Well, I'm pretty sure I don't have a classic with that either. We landed on another classic square. For that one, I was down to my last prompt of a title that starts with K, which I did not have. So I drew another prompt card, and that has an instrument on the cover. And for this, I have opened up my Libby app and taken a look for a new book. And we are going to read Peter Pan. In the copy I found, he is playing a flute on the cover. And I've actually already started this one. There is an audiobook on Spotify that's read by Tim Curry, so I've already started listening to the audiobook, because if you have the option to listen to Tim Curry, like, why wouldn't you do that? Of course you would. Let's do, what is this, rule number 7? And now I know I have only 2 titles that start with K, so I'm in trouble. Catherine and the Kite Runner. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Non-fiction. Well, that's not it. Okay, another book search. About an hour later, and I found Kiss Myself Goodbye, The Many Lives of Aunt Munka by Ferdinand Mount. And let's see. The synopsis is, Aunt Munka never told the truth about anything. Calling herself after the mouse in a Beatrix Potter story, she was already does anybody else want to say Bellatrix Potter because of Harry Potter? Anyway, she was already a figure of mystery during the childhood of her nephew Ferdinand Mount. Half a century later, a series of startling revelations sets him off on a tortuous quest to find out who this extraordinary millionairess really was. What he discovers is shocking and irretrievably sad, involving multiple deceptions, false identities, and abandonments. The story leads us from the back streets of Sheffield at the end of the Victorian age to the highest echelons of English society between the wars. An unconventional tale of British social history told backwards, now published with new material discovered by the author about his eccentric aunt. Kiss Myself Goodbye is both an enchanting personal memoir and a voyage into a vanished moral world. So, I mean, that does sound pretty interesting. It's 458 pages. I didn't think it was going to be that long. But the last one that I looked at for this category was almost a 900-page book, and it's all about kidnapping during the Depression. So that was not happening. So we're going to go on a little adventure with Aunt Munka, and we'll see how good this is. I don't know. A lying little old lady sounds like fun to me. All right, and with Kiss Myself Goodbye, that takes K for nonfiction off the board, and we are finished. Let's wrap this up. So this is what our stack is looking like, and keep in mind that there are 2 books missing. So for our debut novel, we have Eventide by Sarah Goodman. For our TV or movie adaptation, we have The Princess Bride by William Goldman. For our title that starts with a C, we have Curious Toys by Elizabeth Hand. For our next in a series, we have Lasher by Anne Rice. For a blue cover, we have The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I can't say her name. And then also in addition to this stack, just pretend it's a little taller, we have Peter Pan for a classic with an instrument on the cover. And we have Kiss Myself Goodbye for a title that starts with K, nonfiction. So that is my healthy stack for this round of library card. And I'm not going to put a time restraint on this game this time around, but when I get to the point that either I don't want to finish this TBR or I have finished this TBR, that is when I will do the next round of the game. I already have so many other games that I'm playing that have monthly goals that I feel like I need more long-term goals. So I can make these TBRs a little bit heavier and have longer goals with these and get more books read without feeling that I need to rush through them or that I can't read a long book because I have too many long books I'm reading this month. So it'll help me with my mood reading. I hope you've had some fun. I hope you're playing along. If you've read any of these books, I'd love to know and hear your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, all those good things, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.